It is Tuesday, October 17th. Welcome into WagerTalk TV. This is Puck Time. We have 3 games, best bets, and a new special segment here, a stand-alone video with our special guest today. We have Don Buster, of course. I'm Andrew. I have Carmine with me. As always, guys, if you like goals, last night might not have been your favorite night as unders finally had a big night. Unders go 4-1, but 3 games to break down. We got the Lightning, Sabres, Avalanche, Kraken, and of course the nightcap. I personally think the best game of the day, the Dallas Stars and the Vegas Golden Knights. Carmine, we'll start with you. Your thoughts on Lightning and Sabres and what you have going on today for clients.
That goals definitely dried up yesterday, but I think is more of the teams that were playing more so than anything else. But some really good games yesterday. Florida Panthers, live dog got there. I'm going to toot my own horn on that one, and then I'm also going to say that I'm never going to take an Ovechkin prop again. That was a bad play by me. With that said, Andrew, this Sabres Tampa Bay game is so intriguing because you look at this and the Sabres played a dud in their home opener, losing 5-1 to the Rangers. Then they go to New York to face, well, they're in New York, but they face the Islanders in the Islanders home opener, and they look terrible in the first period, but they've looked so much better in the second and third period. They start to get their legs, to start to skate better. A little unlucky with, I think, a questionable call near the end of the game where the game-winning goal I thought was a high stick because it's supposed to be stick over the shoulder, not stick over the crossbar, and it looked like it. So they still gave him the goal, 3-2 final. But they're starting to get better, and I think it bodes well for tonight. Head back home in a game where they're playing Tampa, who is, I think, finishing off this 3-game road trip. And you got to remember, this is a Sabres team that scored a ton of goals last year, but they allowed a ton of goals as well too. You just have a quick look at their goal differential, and you'll see that Tampa Bay, they open up with a 5-3 home win against Nashville. Completely outplayed them in the first period, and then second and third, Nashville got their legs and played. Nashville was much better than Tampa Bay over the course of the second and third periods, but power plays killed them. Then they had 2 games on the road. In Detroit, they get bombed 6-4. Head to Ottawa, they sign a goalie from the Swedish league on a 2-way contract, start him against the Sens and lose 5-2. This is going to be an ongoing thing. They've gone over the total in 3 games already this year. Tampa, and it's a thing with Vasilevsky. Again, I keep mentioning Vasilevsky's injured, and hopefully we'll be back for American Thanksgiving, but that's not a given as well either. So, with that said, we're going to see a lot of goals for and a lot of goals against with this team, and the Sabres were a bang-on over team last year. I get it. This total is at 7, and it seems like a scary number because I think Ralph Michaels gave us some numbers on 7s last year. But there's no way to play this game other than a 7. You can wait and bet the game live in game 2 or 3 minutes in. Hopefully you get a 6.5 and you bet it if one doesn't pop up on our Wager Talk live lines. These teams played 4 times last year, 39 goals scored, all 4 games over the total, averaged 9.5 goals per game. I'm going over. I get it. It's a 7. If we can find a 6.5 later in the day, grab it because it's never going to go higher than 7, but it's plus money on the over 7 unless you can find an alternate line of 6.5 and lay about 25% to 25 cents juice. But I love the over in this game. Buster, what are your thoughts?
Well, Carmine, I should just say ditto and move on. But what I am going to say is there's 2 games, I think, tomorrow. What I'd like you guys to do, and I'll even watch the show, tell me, how is Sheldon Keefe got that coaching job in Toronto still? How did they hire him back? I don't get it. Anyways, that's something for you guys to discuss. In Tampa Bay game here, I agree totally with you, Carmine. Everything, verbatim almost, is on my notes. We have a game that both teams have struggled out of the gate, but we knew with Tampa Bay not having a goaltender and counting on Jonas Johansson, it's not going to be good. Like you say, they had to call somebody up from the minors. That's not going to help at all. As far as the team who we want, kind of like Buffalo, they're back at home. They did play, as you said, Carmine. They played a little bit better last game against the Islanders. and they have been an over machine in the past here. But what I am betting, I've already I'm waiting for the 6.5. I'm thinking it might get to 6.5. If it doesn't, I'll take the 7+ money. We're gonna bet the Buffalo Sabres Tampa Bay game over 7. As you said, Tampa Bay has already hit the over 3 times this season. The last game was at 7, but it was a 6.5, so they've gone over 3 times, and we have seen it. They played 4 games last year, and it was pond hockey at its finest. And there's no reason we're going to see the exact same thing tonight. Let's go through those 4 games. You had mentioned it real quickly. 5-3, 6-5, 6-5, 5-3. Sounds like a tennis score, but that's the 4 games that they went over last year. Last 10 between these guys, 8, 1-1 to the over. Buffalo has struggled to score goals. Tampa Bay is just what the doctor ordered. I'm with you, my brother. Over it is.
It's hard to argue it, guys. It's hard to argue goals in this one. And the big question I always say is that, all this stuff depends on the person and who you talk to. Do you bet the over 6.5 with juice if you could see it, or do you bet the 7? And I think for me this year, I'm going to be looking more towards those 7s, even though, as Carmine pointed out, Ralph told us, a lot of times a common number for these games to land on is 7 exactly. But yesterday I did get burnt there. I had Devils game over. Really wasn't looking great. Third period really came alive, but some empty netters couldn't go my way, and the game lands exactly on 7. So 7 is a very hard number to go over. So what I'm going to do actually is continue to pick on the Tampa Bay Lightning. And it's not just about their goaltending, it's their defense too, and their defensive forwards. A lot has changed about this team over the last 2 or 3 years, and it's not just about Vasilevsky being injured. They just don't take care of things in their own end as much as they once did. I'm going to take Buffalo team total over the 3.5 goals at -105. Obviously, I feel like if everybody likes the over 7 in this one, we do think there's going to be goals, not just from one team, but from both teams. I'm going to just select one team and take Buffalo. Look, as much as I love to make fun of the New York Islanders and say they play a very, very boring style of hockey, they're really good at it, and they shut down the Buffalo Sabres, and they played very well defensively against them. I think that things change, and Buffalo will finally, kind of snap out of it and get on the board. And if they can get a good start, I believe they can get me to 4 goals. So I will take over 3.5 team total for the Buffalo Sabres for my prediction. But it sounds like as a collective, all 3 of us are liking goals in this game. I want to give a huge shout out to everybody in the live chat right now, everybody commenting, all of you guys that post afterwards. We do read the comments. Please, if you're watching right now or watching after, hit the like button, subscribe to our channel here on YouTube. The 3 of us really, really do appreciate it. Carmine, what do you have to say? I just saw you message me.
Yeah, listen. Yeah, no, listen. The pucksters that we have in our live chat, and even the ones that can't catch the show live, that comment later on, we greatly appreciate it. And listen, I made a promise once the new shipment of PuckTime T-shirts comes in. I'll be giving them out, regularly on shows, uh, uh, to people who comment on our free play videos. Because Andrew, you and I are doing a lot of free play videos daily. You'll find them on the WagerTalk site. I load at least one of the videos on my page at WagerTalk, so you'll always find one there. And there's one up for tonight's action as well too. We really appreciate that. As far as this game goes, because I saw some comments in the chat. We usually get more information after the morning skates as far as players who are in and out. Because Stamkos missed the game against Ottawa, lower body injury. He's obviously questionable for tonight, but we learn more about it at the morning skates. It's kind of like the starting goaltenders. We learn more when we find out who is in the starter circle as far as the goalies go. So if you're worried about Stamkos because you want to bet on Tampa tonight, even though I'm going to bet on Buffalo, wait till the morning skate and news will come out. Usually the beat reporters, you should always try and follow the beat reporters from each and every team because they're at the morning skates and they'll tell you Stamkos not on the ice or Stamkos on the ice wearing a non-contact jersey. That's the info that you need in order to make a bet. Make a bet after you have all the info available to you.
Yeah, completely agree. And that's the thing about us doing this early show. We don't always get the information on goaltenders, but we have enough, I believe, to make some strong plays. Let's move on to game number 2. Buster, we have Colorado. We have Seattle here. Disappointed with Colorado over the weekend, man. Cost me a big play there. Expected goals were well over 5 for them against San Jose. They now get a chance to bounce back against the Seattle Kraken. But they're laying minus 150. What do you have for us in this game, Buster?
Yeah, we've got the early rematch of that 7-game series that Seattle upset Colorado. Got to believe Colorado is really good and pissed off about that. That's for sure. They probably had this game circled right when they saw that calendar. First home game for Seattle. They've got off to a rough start, 3 losses on the road. But you know what? They've been playing pretty decent for a team that's lost all 3 games. This line at 150, geez, you know, Colorado has that revenge. I do like Colorado, but at 150, no way. Problem with Seattle here and not taking them either is because they have a hell of a time scoring goals for whatever reason. I mean, they've been putting a lot of shots at the net, but just can't score. And again, so I'm not going to be on Seattle either. We love the eye test on Colorado. We think they're going to be very good tonight, but just can't lay that number. And as for Seattle, I think the scheduler done them wrong because after tonight, they have Carolina and then they have the Rangers. But that Seattle club's going to be good moving forward. So you'll be able to get some nice prices on them a couple months down the road. What we do like here, we're going under the 6.5 in this one. And especially since Seattle's having trouble scoring, they might decide to play a little bit more defense in this one here. And the number we believe should be at 6 for sure. The under between these clubs is 10-1 in their last 11 games. Both teams haven't played since Saturday. Probably going to get Hill and Grubauer. I haven't seen. They might be already listed as confirmed. And that's going to help the under. Just believe also we have some great value at 6.5. Every game in the playoffs. Now, I know it's the playoffs, but 1 full goal, they were all 5.5s. Last year, 2 6s and a 6.5. When I see line value like that, I know we got to pay a little juice. Give me the under 6.5 in this one.
All right, looking for a defensive battle here, under 6.5, and we are seeing so many high numbers for these totals now. Carmine, over to you. What are your thoughts here, Seattle and Colorado? And it's a great point by Buster, that playoff revenge, and I like how the schedule makers did it early on in the season here.
Revenge sometimes is a dish best served cold, and it can get cold in Seattle this time of the year if it isn't already. But listen, we talk about like impressive wins. We talk about wins that don't look as impressive, and Colorado probably falls into that category. You know, they play LA, they beat them 5-2, and LA is a team that haven't gotten off to the greatest start. I thought they were going to be a team that are going to be very tough to score against, and and they allow 11 goals in 2 games. That's not a very good thing, at least early on. But then they play against the San Jose Sharks, and they were tooth and nail to get that win. They tied up late and then win it in a shootout. But let's not forget that game. They played extremely well. Mackenzie Blackwood played quite possibly the best game of his career. He had 52 shots on goal is what Colorado had in that game, and they only got 1 by Mackenzie Blackwood. How they didn't score multiple goals in that game is beyond me. But all you got to do is watch the highlights or the shortened version of the game in 30 minutes and see that Blackwood played phenomenal in that game. So this team is 2-0. They're right where they want to be. And now they have a chance to go into Seattle and get a measure of revenge. And I like the price. I get it. It's minus 150. It's in my ballpark. You guys know that's my wheelhouse of as far as wanting to lay juice, never getting too high. And 150 just feels like the right number here. And I think they get the measure of revenge. So I'm going to keep it short and sweet. And I'm taking the Avalanche tonight, and I'm going to lay the 150.
Yeah, it's definitely a really good spot, I think. And I do always say that some games mean more to certain teams than others, even if it's early in the year. And when Buster brought that up, I was like, you know what? I forgot to mention that. And it's a really good point about that revenge factor there for them. One thing I look at, guys, that, I feel like some people might have a different opinion on this, but when a team wins a game, but they really deserved better, I find that in the next game is when they break out. Like, you look at even the Maple Leafs against the Canadiens, they won that game, but they didn't play their best defensively, and they were still dialed going to their next game. And what did they do? They played a rock solid game against the Minnesota Wild. And so I find that sometimes, even in victory, you're not happy with the results. So sometimes that can be a factor when you're looking at things and thinking, you know what, this is a team that I want my money on once again, And so I tweeted out after I lost my play on Colorado Saturday night saying, you know what, I don't regret it. And a lot of people tweet back on me, say, I regret it. I regret buying this play. Well, you know what? That's gambling, because guess what? I'm going to go right back on Colorado and do it again. But what I'd rather do is look at the first period. And you guys know I've been doing these all the time. And this is the Don Buster special, plus 150 here for Colorado to get off to a big start in the first period. A team that has a great power play, has a defensive core that jumps into the rush. And if you don't like that minus 150 full game, you can pull the Andy Lang special and just parlay it with Cale Makar to get a point, because it seems like whenever they have a good game, Cale Makar at least finds the score sheet. That's for sure. But I like the plus 150 on Colorado to win the first period here. I think Seattle's a team that is going to struggle to score early this season. They've looked okay so far, but when they play teams like Colorado, everyone's going to think about last year in the playoffs. The playoffs are a different beast than the regular season. I'll take that first period play. And if you can't find it, guys, first period, three-way line, not money line, a three-way line there in the first period. I know someone that knows all about those, and his name is Don Buster, and he'll have one for us at the end of this show. Sorry, Karma, I keep thinking you're messaging me. We're going to go to Buster for his standalone game, and I'm looking forward to the breakdown, Buster, but I'm very disappointed in the play I think you have for us. So over to you, my friend, for your play.
Yes, Andrew, when I put this play out, when I looked at all the games like I do every night, I know this may be sacrilegious going against my team that I love, but when the number is so wrong, it doesn't matter. We're fans of money, and that's the way it goes. And I will find spots to bet against Montreal from time to time. I very seldom bet Montreal, but I will find spots to bet against them. We laid 145 last night. It's already at 140. So I love that. So I'm a little bit contrarian on this play. And we believe this should be at least 170, 175 for low maybe. Why? Because Minnesota owns Montreal. They have won 9 of the last 10 games. They won both games last year very easily. This line, so last year, the 2 games, the game in Minnesota's a minus 245 favorite. The game in Montreal, which was early in the season last year, they were a minus 195 favorite. And now I get to lay 140 with the club that has dominated my team. Again, we like the money instead of going against with our team here. Again, you don't have a team sometimes when money's on the line. Now, we know Montreal has improved this year. That is true. But I really believe Minnesota is just as good as last year, and if not better. They're going to have a good team. This is a team that will be back in a lot of spots this year. That Leaf game that they lost, I think that comes into play here because they will have a nice bounce back spot here when they play Montreal. They've had some time off as well, which is good. A few more stats I've got to have here. The favorite in this series, 19-4 last 23 games between these clubs, and Minnesota has won 6 of the last 7 in Montreal. But one more thing that, never mind the rest, never mind the bounce back, never mind the great number, Marc-Andre Fleury will probably play his last game in Montreal tonight. And to a man, Minnesota will want this victory for him. So I know it's sacrilegious. I probably will not watch 1 minute. I will just check all the scores. My other 3 TVs will have all the other hockey games. Give me Minnesota at a great number.
That's Don Buster with his breakdown of Minnesota and Montreal. You know, I'm on a show with two Montreal fans right now, and one of them in his breakdown goes against the Montreal Canadiens. It has led me to bring out my bingo dabber. And you want to know why I'm bringing out the bingo dabber? Because the free space on the bingo card is in play tonight, boys. The free space on the bingo card. Dan, can we get that up there? There it is. The free space on the bingo card that is known as the Montreal
Oh man.
Canadiens. Tonight, we
Oh,
are dabbing away and trying to make some money with
Hey, let's not forget.
Minnesota.
Let's
I
not
could,
forget about when
I couldn't
Fleury.
resist, guys.
Hey,
oh,
don't
that's
forget about when
beautiful,
Fleury
Carmine.
played for the Vegas Golden Knights and he made that mistake in the playoffs. Let's not forget. Maybe the ghosts of the Bell Center will be haunting him again tonight. We'll see. But that's a funny graphic. But I don't know.
That
After
is.
Carm made that graphic, Buster, I'd be worried about your play, man. The free bingo card. You never want to have the bet on the free bingo card.
Oh, I'm
Free
all good with
space is
this one,
always guaranteed, I
especially
thought.
with Fleury.
The free space is always guaranteed. All
Yeah,
right, we
that's
got
I
true.
a
love
lot
There
of
it.
you
things to
go.
discuss on today's show, but I thank
I
our
love it. All right.
graphics guy, Eric, who's phenomenal with this stuff, and of course, our fabulous producer, Dan Alexander. You guys are amazing. I appreciate the assistance
Great,
on this
great
one.
job, guys.
And Andrew, I'll throw it back to you for the third game.
That's hilarious. We should start just asking people to comment below what their free space is, what they think the lock of the night is. We can't use that L word, but pretty
No,
much
no,
that
no,
is
no,
what
no,
it
no,
is.
no, 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 no.
Space. Let's jump into the last game here, guys, and we'll quickly get some best bets in. It's obviously a lot bigger of a Tuesday slate than we usually have. Well, I guess Tuesday's one of the more jam-packed days of the NHL compared to like yesterday or tomorrow. This is the game of the night, though, Carmine. We have the Vegas Golden Knights and Dallas Stars. At least I hope you agree with me. It's the game of the night. Vegas has won 3 games, and all 3 of the games they've won, same scoreline, 4-1. What say you for tonight? Can they do it again and keep winning 4-1, or are the dogs barking with Dallas?
The dogs could be barking for Dallas. This is the type of team that could give the Vegas Golden Knights fits, and I think they did last year during the regular season. I think during the regular season, if I'm correct, they swept Vegas, winning all 3 games. But then we get to the playoffs. They play a phenomenal first game, losing OT to Vegas, and then we know what happened after that. Vegas pretty much steamrolls their way through the series and to a cup final and a cup victory. I'm looking more at the total in this one. The total screen sits at 6, and this is an interesting one because you look at last year's games, including the playoffs, and only one of the 8 games that they played, I believe, or 9 games that they played, went over the total. And that was a regular season game, I think it was. But a majority of them was stayed under the total. A couple of them landed on 6. In the playoffs, there were a lot of 5.5s, and this is where this line should be. And some of them are starting to pop up on the WagerTalk live lines. And here's the difference between a 5.5 and a 6, because I was talking to one of my clients this morning, and we're talking about CLV, which is closing line value. You want to get on the right number. Sometimes it doesn't work out, but you want to have the right number. The right number here, if you're betting the under, is 6, obviously, and not 5.5, because a 3-2 game with an empty netter, you're losing on 5.5. You're pushing on 6. That is the importance of some lines taking the best number. And CLV has not treated people across all sports this season well, whether it's the NFL, CFL, Andrew, Buster, NHL. A lot of sports, CLV has not treated the bettors. You're on the best number and it hasn't gone your way. Eventually, regression or correction happens and you guys will be on the right end. But the right end is, if you're going to take the under, is 6, and that's where I'm going here. Grab the 6 early because 5.5s are starting to pop up here, and if it's 5.5, I wouldn't even take it.
Yeah, Carm, looking at the total at this one, Buster, what do you have for the nightcap here in this game?
Yeah, this is going to be a great game tonight. Vegas, as Carmine said, has won all 3 games to start the season. Dallas has only played 1 game. and they won that one. But they haven't played. I think it was since Thursday, maybe. I'm not. Yeah, at least Thursday or Wednesday. And you know what? Love what Peter DeBoer did. He took his team out west to Palm Springs for the weekend instead of going to Vegas, gets them acclimatized to the time zone. And just like Colorado had that game circled, Dallas has this circle, especially with the ton of time they have off. So they definitely have this circled here. It was a tough defeat for them in the Western Conference Final. Probably even tougher for them to watch Vegas win the cup, because in their heads there's like, shit, that could have been us. So, and Carmine did mention Dallas did win all 3 games last year in the regular season. I have already gave out Dallas tonight, like Dallas in this spot, and really think that they come out and, again, looking forward to this game. They've done everything right, and I think they stopped that 3-game winning streak of Vegas. As for the total, I can see Carmine going with a 6 here. Again, all 3 games last year went under the 6. And every game that these clubs have played, now I know Dallas only played 1, Vegas has played 3. Everyone has went under 6. They did no pushes, all under 6. But at the end of the day for us, really like Dallas to get that revenge here. Give us Dallas to win this one, guys.
All right, that's Buster with his thoughts on this one, and I don't fault you, Buster, at all for that play on Dallas. It's not a quick revenge spot, but it is a revenge spot nonetheless. Guys, I want to mention today is Tuesday, so obviously it is $2 Tuesdays over at WagerTalk and Sports Memo at WagerTalk. None other than the Prez. Yeah, the Prez. He will be on Thursday's show as Brian Leonard is traveling. Tomorrow it's just Andrew and I. But the Prez has an NFL spread bet up. You can get that for only $2 along with some great promos. And over at Sports Memo, it is 2 cappers for $3, or each one separately for $2. You can get Jesse Shule has an SEC double revenge prop bet, and LC Sports with a 5% NHL play that you can get for only $2. So head over to WagerTalk and Sports Memo to take advantage of those ones, and I'll throw it back to you, Andrew.
Yeah, best of luck to those guys, and a great deal for you guys to check out there, of course, at both websites. And every day, really, make sure you're looking at those websites and make sure you're kind of scanning around for the best packages available. Right now, we have a deal. You can use the promo code 7PASS to get 7 days for $69 on any handicapper. It's a great deal, all sports package as well. So obviously the 3 of us do a lot of hockey action, but we're doing football, especially Canadian football too. We love that CFL, us Canadians. Basketball coming up soon, so much stuff to look at across the board. So you can use that promo code 7PASS to get 7 days for $69. Buster, over to you for your best bet on the show. Obviously, you had that standalone game with the Minnesota Wild, but remind folks at home what you have going on tonight. It's a jam-packed night here in the NHL, and your show play for us.
Okay, Andrew, for my show play here tonight, I have another first period puck line play. It's first period. We're going to take the New York Islanders, first period, on the puck line, -0.5, +130. Back-to-back for Arizona. The Islanders have only played 1 game. I think the Islanders will be right on top of them right away, right off the bat. And just a little point, Arizona struggled in New York. They're 1-8 in the last 9 in New York. So give us the Islanders, first period on the puck line, -0.5, +130. I'd like to thank Carmine and the powers that be at the head office. Go to our WagerTalk homepage for there's a promo code there, Don20, and they ran it around by my free play, I believe. Don20 gets you $20 off 7 days of NHL, and go over there, grab that. You'll be glad you did. And as always, best of luck to you guys tonight. Best of luck to everybody in the chat. Have a great day.
Great to see you as always, Buster. Best luck to you and your clients tonight, except for the one against the Montreal Canadiens. I always have your back. I'm always cheering for you, but I can't cheer for you 100% of the time. Carmine, what do you have going today, brother?
That's a great deal for Buster, guys. Don $20 off that $69 price. Basically drops it down to 49. That's the price of 2 packages, and you get a week's play. So take advantage of that, guys. My free play, it's Sharknado tonight. The Hurricane are in San Jose to face the Sharks at SAP Center. I'm drawing a line. I talk about this a lot. When you look at teams, and some good teams have bad performances, and some very bad teams have good performances. Um, as long as the situation exists where it's not a back-to-back, there's no injuries, and there's neither in these 2 games, I draw a line through that bad game for the good team, and conversely, the good game for the bad team. I think they're outlier results. San Jose, Blackwood, 51 saves in that game against the Sharks, the Avalanche. They probably should have gotten beat up in that game. And then, of course, Carolina allowing 6 goals, 3 inside the first 12 minutes to Anaheim and losing 6-3. I'm drawing a line through them. The Canes are the better team here. I am taking the puck line. I'm not touching minus 300. The puck line currently sits at minus 1.5, minus 120, minus 125, depending on your book. And I think that's the right play here. Canes to get the victory by multiple goals tonight is your free play. Head over to my page. I have 3 soccer plays going this afternoon. It's been a fantastic Euro qualifying for me, 10-3-2 in this round of qualifying. The final days of qualifying are today. And then I've got a 5% play up in the NHL tonight, along with 2 or 3 other plays. So maybe grab that 1-day all access, $39. You get everything today. I think that's a great deal. And I'll send it over to Andrew.
Carm, best of luck on that 5% play, but as we always encourage people to do, get those 1-day passes. That way you're getting every single thing that Carmine bets today, not just the 5% play, soccer and hockey included. Great stuff working with both Buster and Carmine today. Really quick, I have just a full package up today. So we've got action across the board, props, sides, totals. So I'm not just selling one best bet, everything for $29. You can get that over at WagerTalk.com, or use 7Pass to get 7 days all sports for $69. Guys, very simple. I like what Carmine said there about the Carolina Hurricanes. I'm going to simplify it. We're going to go first period minus a half goal plus 110. San Jose Sharks had an over 5 expected goals last time out against Colorado. They only allowed 1 in regulation. Carolina had a big flat spot the other day against Anaheim. This is a spot where they will show up, and they will show up early. I will take Carolina plus 110, minus a half goal in the first period. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Best of luck on all your wagers. Please, on the way out, hit the like button. We'll see you tomorrow.